Hey guys, Mike Cossette here with Remax Gateway. I'm doing the lessons learned in 15 years of real estate, and so this week I've got my lesson number 3, and I get asked this all the time when I'm shopping with investors or new home buyers. Is what should I be concerned about when buying a property? So, each person kind of has what their own preferences are, but I can only speak for my personal preferences. And when I'm looking at a property for myself, and over the last 15 years, I've either tried to buy, build, remodel, or invest in a new property every year or two. Preferably every year, but sometimes it's every 2. Anyway, there are very few things that I am really concerned about when I'm looking to buy a property. And so this week's lesson, I'll break those down in order of why those are of importance to me, and and then go on to the next one. So the number one thing that I think is the most important thing is that the one thing you cannot change in a property is the location. You have to be satisfied with the location. And people might say, oh yeah, but you can move a house to a different location, but you still have to have the location of the physical property. A house is just an improvement on a property. So the importance of the location, one, for me is it going to fit my day-to-day life if I'm living there? And am I going to be happy here? Or if I'm not living there, is this a location that is achieving the goal of why I'm deciding to buy? Whether it's invest or rent or develop or hold, I have to have that objective set in my mind, and then the next thing that has to fit is the location, because I can't change that no matter how much money I have. The number 2 thing that you very rarely can change is the size and the shape of the lot or the piece of property. Now, you can almost never change this. There are a few exceptions, and that's if you buy a huge piece of property and you're able to subdivide it or split it into smaller pieces of property, or if you buy a rural property, or you're able to acquire the lot next door or buy your neighbor's property, for instance. You can change the shape and the size of your lot if you're able to acquire an additional lot or subdivide, meaning cut your lot up. So now that we have those 2 primary factors that are pretty much unchangeable, those are things you've got to be happy with. What's important about those? Now, for me, number 1, if I can at all possible, is, of course, waterfront. Waterfront is king. They don't make more waterfront property. Beachfront, riverfront, not a wet weather creek or something like that. I'm talking about a stable body of water that, that is a limited asset, a limited product that they're not creating more. You can build houses all throughout the country land from here to El Paso, but they're not putting rivers in, right? So, and then views, long panoramic views. Those 2 things, obviously you can't get those everywhere, but if you can get them, or if you're looking for them, that those are things that will always have high value and a lot of attention, a lot of eyes wanting those. And then one of the things that I've been dealing with a lot of new construction lately because of the pandemic, and the lot premiums, guys. When you're building a new construction house, the lot premium, sometimes they'll say, okay, you're gonna build a house, the house is like $500,000 and the lots are all $50,000, except for these lots are $85,000 and then these lots are $100,000. Well, lot premiums can vary between $15,000 and $90,000 per lot. That's additional money that you would be paying on top of your house, the cost to build your house. Now, this can be one of the best return on investments when building new construction. People don't think about it. They go, why would I spend an extra $80,000 when I can get my house built on a regular lot? Well, guys, this is the one thing that you can't change down the road. The orientation of the house, the views of the house, the size of the lot. Pay that extra money, because as house values go up, as a percentage, that value of that lot will go through the roof, and it will always be a sought after lot within the community, because it will always have the advantage of the view or the size of the location. So pay the lot premiums, because it's the only chance you get to decide on the things that you can't change about a piece of property. A few other things to consider that are hugely valuable that a lot of people don't really consider is cul-de-sac lots. Cul-de-sac lots are fantastic. Now, if you have kids or you're planning on having kids, you already know this, but they are invaluable for families looking to have small children or have average teenage children with low traffic, and larger lots or corner lots are also more valuable than interior lots. Now, if you have a corner lot, that means you only really have the possibility of having neighbors in your back. You don't have neighbors next to you. That goes towards privacy, which is a valuable asset. Backing to a green belt. If you have a lot of communities have forced green belts where the developer is forced to buy all this property, and because of impervious cover laws and stuff like that, they're only allowed to build on certain portions of it. So they have to build in these green belt pasture type areas that back along, strips of property lines. And now that is a huge, advantage to having someone not be building there. You don't have to worry about pesky neighbors, people peeping in on you, someone building a tall house when you have a smaller house, all those types of privacy type issues. So those lots will always drive a premium as well and sell quickly. A cul-de-sac lot that backs to a green belt that's a little bit larger, that you can chop down that house and build whatever you want, but that lot will always be a high value lot. Now, after that comes the floor plan. Now, floor plans can be changed fairly easily, but they are expensive to do so. If you want to completely change a floor plan, you're gonna have to move walls and bathrooms and stuff like that. It can get into the tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. But for timing purposes, timing a remodel or a build or construction addition can be huge, and there's ways to kind of time that. When to do that, and the cues on, okay, should I be thinking about that now? Should I be saving up for it? Especially for investing, if possible, I would always choose a large lot as possible in the area where I want it to be, and I would like the price to be something that the price to build something new is right about the same, if not just under the price point of what the homes in the neighborhood are selling for. So for instance, if it costs $200 to build something, then for long-term investing, I like to buy something that's $180 a square foot or $190 a square foot if it costs $200 to build. And I'll get into that more in the next video, because that goes a lot towards the taking in the advantage of the moving market and developing property. And so, personally, if I'm happy with the location and the size of the lot itself, I usually let the wife decide what she wants in a floor plan, what fits her daily life, her cosmetic needs, and all of that stuff. Because I know I've got the location, I've got the size of the lot, I can do a lot with that over time to make a lot of money regardless of what the structure is that's there currently. So that's it for right now, guys. I will talk with you next week. Cheers.